Welcome to Woman Crush Every Day. My name is Tang,
I'm Al Wu.
and we are going to be reviewing episode 4 of the L Word Generation Q. So thank you for coming back this week. If you want to subscribe, comment, like, we appreciate all of that. We're doing a weird recording thing this week because I am on vacation, and so we're not in the same place this time, but we're working with technology, so we're going to see how it goes.
There you go.
Awesome. So we're going to review the show, talk about the things that happened, and give you our opinion of what we thought. So you want to start off?
Actually, I think I want you to start off.
Okay. I thought it was an interesting episode. I really liked how they advanced the plot. We got a new character that came in. That was really exciting to have a face to a character that we've only kind of has been spoken of. There were some revelations that happened that I'm kind of upset about, frankly, but also some other revelations that give a deeper picture into how people are connected. This episode seemed to be less funny, definitely a lot more sexual in nature, and to me a little bit speedy in how things happened. I think to sum it up, this episode was like a drunken, drugged out mess a little bit.
Yeah, it was a lot of alcohol involved, a lot of sex involved, a lot of debauchery. We just getting into it, and we're doing the grown up all this episode. Yeah, a lot of big reveals in this episode. Who do we meet? Yeah, we meet Kiara. We meet Shane's wife.
And she
yeah, Shane's wife is crazy hot.
Yeah, I will say that it does. And I mean, I think this is just Hollywood does this every time, is that we have 3 identifiably Black women, possibly 4 Black women on the show, because I don't know how Sophie's character necessarily identifies racially, but all light skin. And I just hate that TV does that every time.
Yeah. I you know what, my first thought was when I saw Shane with this Black woman, I'm like, okay, she married a Black woman. Okay, shit. But then then it's also like, I know that there are a lot of layers and a lot of there are a lot of things that they're trying to bring to this story. I don't know if she's like, I wonder how they're going to bring race into it, or if it means anything. Is she just a celebrity?
Yeah.
Or, because I feel like in a lot of ways but Bette's character was kind of used racially, to kind of represent Black people, and all that good stuff. So I wonder if Kiara's character will kind of play into that at all, or who she's going to be. I know for the time being, I'm like, I just want to see some great sex scenes from her, and we'll let it all go.
Where your head is at while watching. My head is exactly the same.
Like, this was like,
it was
I don't know, maybe I was just in a sexy headspace today. Maybe that's too much information. I don't know. But I was like, this episode is a lot going on here. Because Sophie and Danny get down in the tub. Hot. Yeah. The threesome between Alice and Gigi. And I always forget her name. What is her name? What is the other lady's name?
Gigi or Nat?
No, not Gigi.
Nat.
Oh, that's terrible. Jesus, yes, Nat. Even that, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of with the
Micah kind of was doing his thing. Finley and Rebecca was getting down.
It was doing the grown up.
Yeah,
it's a lot of grown folk action happening on this episode, and I think it was all well played. Oh, in the beginning, we see Felicity fine ass titty. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
we started out. Okay, I'm done talking shit.
Okay, let's jump into it. So Bette and Felicity are in the hotel room. They are eating breakfast in bed, and Felicity asks Bette, what does she want? And Bette says, I want this, which doesn't really say anything. I was like, you're not saying that you want to be together. You're not saying that y'all are anything, but you are saying that you want this. Okay, Bette's not checked out of the relationship. And Danny is just like, this needs to be over. This is going to dead your campaign. You don't need to be doing this. And Bette is like, yeah, I'm going to end it. Bette also ends up switching her phone with Felicity, which creates an issue. And Danny's like, you're not going to go see her and switch this phone. I'm going to go see her. I'm going to dead this relationship right now. So she goes and does that. But by the end of the episode, we see Bette is saying she's going to end it, but it seems like clearly she's not, because Felicity was there when Kit died. So that gets revealed, that Kit died from a heroin overdose. And Felicity was really there to help Bette along. And so clearly she has a strong connection with her. I don't think that relationship is going anywhere. I don't know what you think.
Bette and Felicity, yeah, I think that's gonna be a new Bette and Tina situation in terms of like some solid love. But we got to get there. We got to get through this election for sure. We got to get through this whole process. Kit dying, finding out the kid is dead from an overdose. I feel like I hate that that's what happened to Kit. In a way, I kind of knew that was going to be what happened, but yeah, it's just kind of like she too old to die of a heroin overdose. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if like Kit was turning 40, you know what I'm saying? Kit was like turning 65, 70. You know what I'm saying? Like, she did not go back into heroin. Like, that's a hard sell to me. But, you know, I get it. You got to connect the story. She's dead. It's heroin. Whatever. So, and that's fine. Whatever. She's dead. She's not back on the show. This is what happened. But you know what? There was a moment in, and I'm kind of hopping all over the place, but at some point we go to Shane's birthday party. Actually, I'll just bring it in. So it's also Shane's birthday. Alice and Bette promised Shane that they're going to do something small, and they end up doing a really big surprise party at her new shop. At her new lesbian bar, and the place is packed out.
It's Dana's, so cute.
Yeah. So that was cool to do the homage to Dana, bring her in. They do like a little photo montage, and that was cute. But at this party, when we see Danny, when Danny catches Bette there, just kind of like talking and laughing and having a good time, she looks at her with this face of like, I want to do you. Like, I love you, girl. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did it hit you like that?
Yeah.
It hit me like, it wasn't like, yeah, I really admire you. It hit like an admiration, but then it also hit like, I want to take this to the next level. There's something about you. And that's, I don't know how they're going to do that. But that's how it hit me. And I was like, that's weird. I think that would be weird to watch that develop too over, maybe not. I don't know how old Danny is, but I feel like when you have Bette's character who's like 55 and Danny's character who's like 25, it's kind of like, okay, some intergenerational lesbian love.
Yeah. I think it would be interesting for them to kind of challenge that dynamic, because I do think the age difference in relationships between women and women as opposed to like women and men is very different. Is very different in a way, and that some of the societal power structures are eliminated, but also it's just like mugs be falling in love. So it would be interesting to see how they would make that happen. It would also be interesting, since Danny is worried about Sophie leaving her for somebody. This is something that Danny brings up, is that when she first gets with Sophie, Sophie already has a girlfriend. She's like, that worries me, which I'm like, you didn't want to bring that up before you proposed? Like, y'all bringing up a lot of
Whatever.
stuff now that y'all about to get married. It's just like, which maybe it's like that. Maybe you start thinking more deeply about your relationship, but I would have thought, you would think deeply about that prior to saying, let's get married. So yeah, that would be interesting if Danny actually ended up leaving Sophie for Bette. And
that would be crazy.
That would be crazy. But I do notice how like Danny is kind of like bossing up on Bette. Like, I'm gonna hold you accountable. I'm gonna make sure you don't do this. Like, she kind of has this control over Bette that I don't think anybody ever has.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. To see those dynamics, it's like, what's fully happening here? So that's interesting. What else was interesting? What else happens? We see, that was kind of minor. We see Alice on set with Bette's mayoral competition. He gets on the show and he denies being a feminist and all that stuff. Yada, yada, yada. Dudes being dudes.
Yeah.
We have a little section of dudes being dudes on the show.
I thought that bothered me so much, especially thinking about last week's episode and how we had the soccer star on there and Alice didn't really ask her any hard-hitting questions. But now has this mayoral opponent on and wants to ask him hard-hitting questions, which I'm not mad at her wanting to ask those questions, but I'm like, where is the consistency? If you are truly trying to show like, I'm not just a pop, interviewer, I can ask real questions and get to the heart of issues, then why not do that? It was funny that the dude tried any kind of way to bring up Harriet Tubman by naming his pony after her. I was like, you name your pony after Harriet Tubman?
That was so funny.
To use that as a segue to show that you're woke or something when you clearly aren't. Like...
That's so funny. Yeah.
That was funny. That was really funny. So, yeah, I'm still iffy about how this whole Alice taking control of her show thing is going to go. I want to see her approach it with more gusto, and it seems like Sophie is the person who's supposed to push that along. Like, if it's your show, let it be you. Let it be you. But I don't know, Alice. I feel like she keeps playing, like, I don't think Alice really knows if she wants to be one thing or the other. I think she's trying to find a balance of both. And it would just, it'll be interesting to see how her show progresses. But that was not as interesting as her photo shoot with Nat and Gigi, which Gigi wasn't even supposed to be a part of. And Nat got called the nanny while Gigi got mistaken as the girlfriend. That was hilarious. I'm like, so basically push Nat out. Like,
yeah.
Nat's your mama and y'all have a real relationship, which is really messed up.
Yeah. It's crazy to see how, like, I thought that was an interesting moment in that scene. After that scene, I thought about how the unpredictable can permanently affect your relationship. Just something that's really small, really slight, it's like just a photo of this family, and then it casts a whole different light on everything else that is to come. And the queen of queer life, and to be like, and she's the oddball out. Like, she's the transplant into their family structure. I thought that was interesting. And then, like, their interaction, what was that? Exactly. It was like, she doesn't really deserve to be here. I don't know what this is, or I'm still Nat and Gigi, like, I'm still really interested in you, but to me, I couldn't tell if they were like ganging up on Alice or if they were just feeling each other in that moment. And then we're like, okay, well, we'll throw you in the mix, but our love thing is so strong. I couldn't really tell. Or does Nat really, really, truly want the both of them, or does Nat, does she just want her cake and eat it too?
Wants Gigi back, but the relationship with Al.
Is yeah.
I mean,
She
it
wants
seems like that's exactly what she wants. Is she wants to have both, and they teased to them becoming a throuple, which I knew that was going to happen. I was like, we'll make this a throuple. And I don't know if it's going to be a very functional throuple because there's going to be a lot of exclusion of Alice because Gigi and Nat have this whole history. Also, it seems like Alice is far more attracted to Gigi than she is to Nat, which not surprising. Gigi is a lot more finer than
Gigi's kind of hot. Gigi's kind of hot.
She's growing on me. I wasn't into her at the beginning, but I was like, oh yeah, she got something. She got something.
Kind of looks like Jay Leno to me.
Oh,
but, I also kind of see the hot factor.
I think she's got a hair thing happening that works.
Yeah.
She also doesn't look super stressed, whereas Nat looks stressed all the time. And stressed is not sexy.
Stress not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So their throuple, that situation. I'm excited to see what happens. So coming back to Finley's relationship. I know. Finley in this episode. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I think it's weird how they throw like the love piece around, and I'm like, this is so like quintessentially lesbian in terms of like Sophie is asking Finley if she is in love with Rebecca, and I'm like,
where did that come from?
Are we there? Are we at love? And why are we even starting to throw around the love word? Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's anything
it.
that they have shown us between Rebecca and Finley that would tell me they are in love, or that, I mean, I can clearly Rebecca says, I have real feelings for you. And I can kind of believe Rebecca because it seems like she came into the situation very open, very interested in Finley. I don't know what about Finley is impressing her at all. So far, I've seen nothing. Like, maybe it's just...
Yeah. It's really...
I don't know. The first night of sex was not good because she nearly passed out. Like, I don't...
And that has not been addressed.
No. We've still... that bothers me that we still haven't talked about that. And... yeah, I don't know why Rebecca is attracted to Finley at all. And I don't know where their relationship building would have come in to equal love, because all we've seen them do is wake up in bed together.
Ooh, I love her.
Oh, shout out to Dom last week who made a point to reach out and talk about how she was very upset that we did not mention Finley's armpit hairs.
I know I said it then. I know it while I was watching the episode. I was like, whoa.
I was not by it, but it was a lot. It was a lot.
You know what? I'm not even here to shame that. I don't think women need to shave their underarms. But that was a hairy ass pit though. Like, that was the OG of hairy pits. So that's all I'm saying. That was gangster. But Finley's pits made a guest appearance last episode. But Finley's alcoholism,
disturbing.
Working that into her character traits too. I'm kind of like, okay, where are we going with this? Oh, I'm about to sneeze.
Yeah. Bless you.
I know, that was like the whole body.
Yeah.
I don't know, but even Finley was kind of minor in this. It's like for like her drunken stupor scene, and Micah. We chat with Micah for a moment. Micah is at Shane's surprise party with his new beau off of Grindr.
Yeah.
Was that the guy that they were sleeping together last week? Was that the same guy?
Yeah, which I feel bad because I actually was watching it, and maybe I don't know. I thought it was Jose, and it was Hanan. Or no, not Hanan. Hanan is a girl's name. Hassan.
Okay. Who did what?
So yeah, who he was sleeping with last week was Hassan, and I thought he was fantasizing about Jose, because I just saw the curly hair, and I was like, oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, no. So Hassan's at the party. Jose in this episode, Hassan and Micah are at the party. Jose ends up seeing Micah and Hassan, and is like, "Yo, what's goody?"
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't know what's going on with you. I don't really know what you want from me. You need to make it plain. And then Jose was like, come here. And then they have a hot makeout session.
Yeah, which I never understand the aggressiveness between men in relationship, like how Micah just like pushed him, and I was like, he like shoved him.
He did.
Like, you couldn't be shoving me like that. And then we start making out. That would have to be a conversation. Like, stop.
Yeah, he really did. You know what? That's funny. That happened a couple times. I feel like that push is something like, no, I'm not going to get physical like that. Especially if I'm upset, I'm not going to put my hands on somebody. And then I don't say like, I don't know how much time, like, bitch. In the scene between Sophie and Danny, she was like, bitch, put the ring on my finger, bitch.
Yeah.
And I was like, calm down. Calm down. Whoa there. I'm going to get it on, you know? But yeah, I just thought that was an interesting, but then that can be their relationship. I'm not hating on it or downing it. I just think it's an interesting layer of how people relate to one another.
Yes.
In ways that was like, that's just more aggressive what I would do with someone.
Yeah, interesting. And I feel like it's a big difference from where the L Word was in the original series, where bitch might be used between friends, but within romantic relationship or in intimate relationships, that was never right. And I mean, I think that's just, the times have changed. Like, I use the word bitch far more than I ever would have in the past, and with people a lot more loosely and freely than I ever would have. And there's this assumption of it's okay to push boundaries a little bit when you're building relationships with people, which is really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I can't say that I'm mad at it. I think it's kind of interesting to see how people are willing to be authentic with one another and express, and not performative with their lovers. So yeah, that's that. Go for it. You're about to say something.
Sophie is getting on my nerves because, again, she is creating, and maybe not creating, but just, it seems like she's noticing all these little problems everywhere. And maybe this time it turned out to be something that is a real issue, that if Danny is worried that Sophie's going to leave her, that's important. But I just feel like, Danny woke up, read a text, went for a run, and Sophie's like, she's not even talking to me. And I'm like, damn, that's the conclusion you went to immediately?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And that, I think in friendship, I think I like Sophie's character. In relationship, I don't like Sophie's character.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that I understand everything she's really about. Yeah. And somebody else who I don't understand who they're about, Tessa. What's her name? Tessa?
Yeah, Tess.
Yeah, so that's interesting. First off, she's being super obvious that she is fucking Shane, and
Shane fucking.
Huh?
Because Lena's fucking Shane.
God damn it. Lena. Okay, well, next week I'm gonna get all the names together. I'm gonna get everybody's name. It's gonna be good.
That's okay.
Lena and Shane. That's just so messy. The levels of mess in that situation is just like, oh my god.
And Shane mess.
Yeah. And now Kiara's back, and Tess is about to. Yeah. It's just all, so I was thinking, like, I feel like in this episode, this reminded me again of feelings that I had in the first run of the L Word. I'm just like the fact that we are in a lesbian world. And I like that. I like that we're in a lesbian world, but then it also makes it feel fake in a way that's like, this is such a fantasy where like everybody's gay, like everybody's gay, everybody's fucking each other. And it's like, what? This is not how the world works at all. But I don't know. It's funny. What I like the fantasy of it, but then I also don't like the fact that it's just like, this is not a real representation of what it feels like to be a lesbian all the time. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I don't live around enough lesbians. Maybe like,
Yeah,
I'm lesbian starved in my town, but
I feel like
when
when I was living in Kalamazoo, that there was a group of queer women who would hang out and get together, and the parties that I would go to would be mostly these queer women, and there would be other people there, but it was mostly these queer women. And so it was a shock moving back to Detroit, because it was like, oh, the rest of the world is here. And so I think especially if you get into small neighborhoods or whatever, which it seems like, the L Word has always been about this small section of LA that does have a lot of queer women in it. And I think you can start to self-select the people that you want in your life, and it can become a very like queer centric world. And you kind of forget about all those other people that you have to deal with. And it's kind of a shock every time that you have to deal with them. So I think it's possible that a lot of people do live and I think, on college campuses even, how you form your friend groups, who you eat with, who you decide to schedule your classes with, who you hang out with after, you can really curate a very queer experience that's not really a representation of what the rest of the world is experiencing.
That's fair. That's fair. That's facts. That's fair. That's facts.
That's not
It's
my
fun
life
though.
right
It is
now.
fun to live in the fantasy of just like, wow, imagine if everybody I knew was gay. Like, and
That's
what that
how
would
I
be
want to
like,
live
and all
every
the
day.
shenanigans we get into, because everybody, like, yeah, I think so. That's fun and funny.
Yeah. Um, what else did I want to talk about? The way that this threesome went down to me happened so fast. And I mean, I think I've been seeing how it's going to build up to this and like anticipating it, but that they thought about it at the party and then they immediately went and found a place to fuck is hilarious to me.
It is, but in their defense, they were wasted.
They were
Like
super wasted, because I was also,
everybody, I feel like,
none of them discussed how they wanted to sleep with each other, who wanted what done to them. Like there was no conversation. They're just going in, sliding fingers everywhere, grabbing hair, person make out. I was like, is this enjoyable sex? Because y'all are making it seem like they are not as wasted, and the way that these bodies are like forming together, but the initiation of the sex, it's clear they're all wasted.
yeah. Yeah, and like, what's her face? Alice had her little like hoe moment after the scene, because when she comes back to everybody and her hair is all disheveled, they're like, "Hey y'all, hey, you just got thrashed back there."
Yeah. Alice calling out Bette though about having the glow, like it looks like you had sex, and Bette's like, no. Yep, that's impossible. I knew it was impossible. He's just like, that was funny to me.
Yeah,
Because I feel like Alice knows. She just likes to like pick at people a little bit.
absolutely,
Which is why she's,
absolutely, and that's one of my favorite parts about Alice's.
yeah.
Say that again.
I said she's one of the best characters.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Um,
there was a part where Danny and Sophie say that they're each other's person. And I feel like Bette and Tina said that to each other in the original series when they finally got back together.
Yeah, actually, I think I remember Tina saying that, "You're my person."
Yeah. And so I think that's interesting because I'm like, okay, it clearly seems like maybe some infidelity is going to come up for them. And I'm wondering just how much they are going to mirror Bette and Tina's journey and relationship together with Danny and Sophie.
I want something so new and exciting. I don't know that if I really think that they're going to be able to bring the juice. Now at this point, now that Felicity is in it, I feel like I want Felicity to be everything. I really want to rock with that relationship and really see where that goes and see the political like obstacles they have to overcome in order for their love to be able to grow. But honestly, as much as I want to see that, I really don't feel like that's going to happen. I feel like Felicity is going to be with us this season, and and that's all we're going to get. That's all we're going to get.
I don't know. I kind of feel like Felicity might find her way to come back because I really don't think Bette is going to give up Felicity. I think she's going to try to keep that a secret, and Felicity is going to blow her shit up.
That sounds about right.
She's only going to want to be a secret for so long.
Right.
I really enjoyed the shade that Bette threw at Tina when she saw that Tina sent flowers for Shane for her birthday. And she's like, of course.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
Shane jumped in on the shade.
That was interesting though. And then Shane did what?
Jumped in on the shade train because Bette was like, well, Tina has always had great taste. And Shane's like, no, she hasn't. Which, to me, took back to like the time when Tina was dating that guy and everybody was mad at her.
Yeah. Bette was smoking pot in this episode. That was funny when she took the joint from Shane. And I was like, yeah, Bette's a little badass. I think to see that come out of her character.
No, that was
kind of funny.
Cool. It was interesting too because there was a lot of like self-medicating on this episode. Like I wanted Bette smoking weed to be like, oh, you know, I can do what I want to do. But it really did seem like it was like, I'm trying to figure out how to deal with all this. Let me have some weed, which, you know, big ups to the plant for giving people solace. But it seemed like everybody was like trying to medicate in some way. Like, let me drink this, let me smoke this so that I can make it through what I'm going through.
Yeah. We need some breakthroughs.
We do, because I think that's like something that I've been hearing a lot of conversation about just within the past decade within the queer community is like, are there spaces where people can deal with their shit and heal or just come together without drinking or smoking? You know, does that exist? And what people get excluded from that? If people actually have a substance abuse issue, where can they go for community? And so I think it's interesting that I'm really happy that they have, you know, this lesbian bar and this whole community and everything, but it also feels like there are no healthy spaces that are actually being curated. And then you got people like Finley going around getting just blasted. And has real friends there, and nobody is really, you know, Sophie's kind of like slow down, but nobody's actually stepping in.
They're not. Yeah, they're not. They are not helping her, and she's definitely showing signs of hardcore alcoholism.
Yeah.
And they're definitely just kind of sweeping that under the rug, and it's like that's Finley's way, and it's like no, some people really have abuse problems, and how do we handle?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how or if people step up in any way to really intervene. And, you know, but also I'm like, clearly nobody really knows Finley.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do she and Sophie, I can't remember if they teased to them having been friends in the past. I know that Micah had dated Danny in the past, and so I'm trying to figure out like who is Finley connected to? Did she just like move to LA on a whim and ended up in a house with these women? I think she knew Sophie sort of, but I'm like, who really rides for her? Who are her real friends?
Yeah.
Because she doesn't seem to be truly connected to anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels like Sophie's her closest connection, but they're not. I don't see where they're really connected. Yeah. So it was also brought up in this episode that Micah and Danny dated back in college.
Mm-hmm.
And Hassan says, "Oh, you have good taste in men and women." And that was an interesting comment.
That was.
Yeah, so that's I can't wait until we learn more about Micah and Danny's whole history. Yeah, that whole thing is like, oh, hot tea. I want to hear what happens with you all. But I guess it's cool. It worked out. They live together now, and
Yeah,
everybody's chilling, seemingly. So,
I also wonder if that.
but I do wonder
Go ahead.
if they're going to take us back. That's all. I wonder if they're going to take us back to that and to like create, give us some more of that scenario.
Yeah, I want to go back to that too. I also wonder, does Sophie know that? And then does that play into Sophie constantly questioning everything about their relationship all the time? But it was cute that Sophie ended up giving Danny the great grandmother's ring, and I was like, I didn't realize that Sophie hadn't even given her the ring at that point. But it was kind of weird. It was kind of weird that they're in this, not argument, but this discussion about, is their relationship secure? And then she's like, let me hop out the tub, grab this ring right now, reassure you all is well. It felt a little rushed. Like, did you have a plan for this, Danny? Or Sophie, did you have a plan for giving Danny this ring? Had you even decided to give it to her, or did you decide in that moment?
Yeah, no, I definitely think Sophie's character is just emotionally driven and is quicker to just express, this is how I feel right now. We'll see how that plays out in the long run.
Yeah. The last thing that I really had was that Shane and Kiara seemed to not be together because Shane did not want kids. And I just think that's an interesting thing to think about within, especially the woman loving woman community of where kids fit into community, like how many spaces are not really welcoming to people with kids, the pressure that I think people feel from heteronormative society to have kids and how that plays into what decisions people make on how to even form and create families. So it'll be interesting to know more, especially since Shane had Shay with her for a moment and it seemed like she was maybe wanting that family dynamic. I'm interested to know what changed in Shane from where we left her in the original series to now.
Yeah, I'm interested as well. I'm interested. I'm really interested in finding out more about this character.
Yeah.
I didn't know how they were going to play her, but to bring her up in a dream and then to bring her up in real life, I'm like, okay, y'all might really run this out.
Yeah, I hope they do. Kiara is fine. So many Black women on here.
I know, like what? What? Now they get a dark skinned baddie on here.
Oh my God.
Please get a chocolate baddie.
Oh my God.
On Generation 2. You know what I'm saying? This is the kind of progress I want to see. Okay. Like, okay, that's cool. We get some Black women, yes, but can we get a chocolate woman?
Somebody.
Anybody. Can we get Lupita on the show?
Oh, can we? Can she get
right? Right. That's all I'm saying.
Come on there. Can Janelle?
I want Lupita.
Can they come on together and just bless us with their presence?
Wait, you and her and who?
Janelle Monáe and Lupita. They come on together. Are they still in a relationship?
What are you bringing these celebs in? Say it again.
I don't know if they're still in a relationship. I don't follow.
Oh yeah.
I don't follow.
I wonder if that was even like real or if that was like just for the, I don't know, the moment. I hope it was real. It was hot. You know, it seemed really cool. They would be a great couple.
Excited me.
On, you know, the optics look great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to see some dark skin Black woman representation. Maybe I'm being too picky, but
I think we deserve to be picky.
I don't think y'all are being picky enough.
Yeah. Yeah. But I will say it is an improvement from the original series.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love seeing it. I love seeing it.
Yeah.
So.
And all these characters are far more authentic than, you know, Poppy was like the worst.
Name this motherfucker Poppy though. That's the part that's like, this is so funny.
Yeah, it was terrible. So yeah, the characters of color on the
So
show,
funny.
y'all have done a major improvement. They're definitely outweighing the white characters, so it actually looks a lot more like the real world of the whole world, if not specifically LA. So that's really cool. That's really cool. And I'm pretty interested in nearly everybody's story and where it's gonna go. I'm even interested in bogus ass Finley.
Yeah. I'm not mad, honestly. And I think in so many ways, and a lot of things about this show that I feel like it's not really about being the world's best show versus creating realistic representation and like showing human experiences of, you know, same gender loving people.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you don't have to go deep into the storytelling to just reveal humanity. And it's crazy that like you have to create humanity and just show humanity of, you know, of the whole LGBT spectrum. Like the fact that you have to try that hard to just show a regular story. You know, it's like these people are in love and they are going to go to the club. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is almost like Friends, just a little more, you know, with a little more edge, but and they're not even like a hard edge. It's like Friends with a little more edge, or like with just titties.
Yeah.
You know,
So
and
it's just like Friends plus porn light.
yeah, Friends plus. So, yeah, I'm really here. I'm here for it. I'm here for the show for that. I think the good fight has to continue to be fought. So
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm here for them exploring the different relationship structures. I think exploring this throuple is going to be interesting. I think diving into, um, you know, this relationship with Shane and Kiara having just been officially divorced, and now Kiara is back, and what that looks like to kind of address divorce within the community, which is something that I feel like the last show didn't talk about much, except between Bette and Tina. So it'd be interesting to see that with other characters. And yeah, I think it's interesting that they're addressing also, you know, these other big issues of, you know, how do we represent for queer culture in popular media, as with Alice's show. What do you do about relationships when you are a politician? So I think they're bringing in some interesting things that just about anybody could latch onto and want to see that kind of storyline play out. So I'm like, all right, writers, it's a good job. I think there's definitely newer places that we can go. But I think they're doing a pretty good job. Yeah. This episode was pretty funny and definitely dove into some expected and unexpected places.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Episode 5. I think it's only 8 episodes in this season. How many is it? I feel like it's kind of like a short season. I could be wrong. I heard that it was 8 episodes. And I'm like, if it's only 8, that means we're halfway through at this point.
Yeah.
So dun dun dun. Like, what happens next? So
Listen it
I
out.
don't know.
Hopefully they'll get renewed because I don't think we can go another decade without some.
I know. I know, right?
I don't think we can do it. Or the rest of us, if y'all don't get a second season, if y'all can just send mini grants out to people who want to make it, we need to get some more content. There's so many great web series that are online that would make amazing full length shows. So it would be great to use this as a catalyst to get some other artists being seen who are doing the work of creating queer content that has quality characters. So hopefully this is a reigniting of shows that are not just focused on straight people or somebody who dates a woman for 3 episodes and then never again for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, let us know what you all think. We love to see your comments. Also, like and subscribe. Any last words?
No, I'm excited. I'm ready to see what happens next.
Me too. All right. Well, thanks for watching Woman Crush Every Day. You'll see us next week for the recap and review of episode 5. Bye.